Imagine you have an application that is running smoothly on AWS. Your business is thriving. One day, you open your email to find a notification from AWS. You get the biggest shock of your life. Your cloud bill has doubled overnight. Panic sets in as you scramble to find a solution. You decide the best course of action is to migrate to another provider. But as you dig deeper, you discover something truly cooked. Moving away from AWS is not as easy as you thought. You've unknowingly become entangled in the web of AWS specific products, and migrating off would take weeks, if not months. You're trapped, held hostage by vendor lock-in, and desperately searching for a way out. I'm going to show you the pitfalls of vendor lock-in and strategies to avoid it in your application. You might be wondering how you ended up in this trap. It's quite simple, even for the most well-intentioned engineer. Picture this. You started your journey into the world of cloud computing with much excitement. AWS seemed like the perfect choice due to its vast array of services. As your business takes off, you enthusiastically embrace AWS's marketing, choosing to adopt their proprietary offerings for all their promised benefits. Suddenly, you're completely shackled to Amazon services and completely at their mercy. Being locked into a particular vendor is considered undesirable. This is for several reasons. It can negatively impact the business in various ways. First up is the limited flexibility. Being locked into a specific provider reduces your ability to adapt to changes in your business requirements. It also makes it harder to try out new technologies or take advantage of better offerings from other providers. The second reason is reduced negotiating power. A heavy reliance on a single provider weakens your bargaining power, especially when it comes to negotiating contracts, pricing, or terms of service. As a result, you'll be facing higher costs and less favorable terms because the provider knows you're not willing to switch. The third reason is you now have a single point of failure. Relying on one provider's products and services creates a single point of failure in your infrastructure. If the provider experiences an outage or any other issue, your entire operation could be affected. Diversifying your cloud infrastructure across multiple providers can help mitigate this risk, depending on your mission, of course. You may think that AWS never goes down. I do remember the great outage of 2017, where companies lost hundreds of millions in revenue. The fourth is innovation stagnation. Vendor lock-in can hinder your ability to adopt the latest innovations in open source technology. This limitation could put you at a competitive disadvantage in your industry. The most important reason is unexpected price increases. Lock-in can leave you exposed to sudden price hikes. You're forced to accept these increases or invest valuable time and resources migrating your infrastructure. By avoiding lock-in, businesses can be flexible, control their costs, and stay competitive. You may be thinking, it's not a problem. I'll just migrate. What specifically could be so hard? There are a few reasons. The first being mismatching APIs. Equivalent services across providers may not fully cover your current use case. For example, suppose your application relies on an AWS specific API. When migrating to another provider, you might need to rewrite parts of your code to work with the new provider's offering. If we take AWS's Lambda, this would be Google's Cloud Functions or Azure Functions. The second reason why it's so difficult is the differing pricing models. Variations in pricing structures can make certain scenarios costly. For example, imagine using AWS's S3 for data storage at a specific price tier. Another cloud provider might charge twice the amount for data egress, whilst being much cheaper for cold storage. In this case, if your service is a video platform where most of your traffic is egress, your cost for this product would essentially instantly double. This brings me to the third reason, familiarity. To successfully migrate, you'll need in-depth knowledge of both your existing cloud provider services and the ones you're migrating to. Suppose you're using AWS's S3 and want to migrate to Google Cloud Storage. You'll need to understand the nuances of both platforms. To ensure a successful migration, you'll have to understand storage classes, object lifecycle policies, and access control mechanisms. It's quite a lot to digest. So how would you avoid this mess? I would suggest you make sure your stack is cloud agnostic. What this means is that you can run your service on any cloud and even on premises if required, with minimal config changes. As you seek to regain control over your cloud hosting future, consider these strategies to stay cloud agnostic and avoid vendor lock-in. First off, I would embrace containerization. By using containers, you can promote portability for your applications. Containers encapsulate your applications as well as their dependencies. This allows you to move easily between different cloud providers without worrying so much about infrastructure differences. This approach also ensures consistency and simplifies deployment across various cloud platforms. One additional benefit is that it sets the stage for using Kubernetes and orchestration tools down the line. The second strategy is to design your application to avoid cloud-specific services. Instead, opt for resources like VMs or architect your application to run on cloud orchestrators, like Kubernetes. If you still choose to use cloud-specific resources, make sure you understand upfront the amount of work necessary to migrate off, or factor this as an additional cost into your migration plan. The final strategy is to use free open source software. Embracing free open source software empowers you to achieve cloud agnosticism in two ways. First is vendor neutrality. Free open source software is not tied to any specific cloud provider, and everyone provides a standard way of running it. And the second reason is cost effectiveness. Free open source software is generally more cost effective than proprietary solutions. This enables you to allocate resources to other aspects of your cloud strategy. So break free from vendor lock-in, ensuring you're always in control in your cloud journey.